بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. We have started with the beginning of Surah An-Naba, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to the disbeliever, or answering their question, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, how they about the momentous news, about they asking about the great news. And we have mentioned that in the style and the eloquency of the Quran, it's like عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, what are these people are asking about. And this question, what we call question inkariya, is like seeking the answer, but really to have admonished those who are asking to reflect on what thing actually do you know exactly what are you asking about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then قال عن النبأ العظيم. So they asking about things, and we have mentioned how they differ. As قال الذين هم فيه مختلفون, some of them they want to justify that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a magician, others they see he's a poet, and so on. So they are trying to bring any excuses or any justification to maintain the status quo. The status quo is the way how they want to live. The status quo is the way how to make their lifestyle be done or governed or ruled or organized the way that they wish. No God intervening or no divine defining any of the path of the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or any of the path of someone they live in their life. So then قال عن النبأ العظيم, النبأ العظيم. So everything that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has brought and revealed to him is azim, naba'un, and we said azim. So naba itself is great in use, and al-azim is a tremendous. So an-naba'ul azim, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put it into this sigha, into the way of calling it such, to show that something very big. Because sometimes people, or someone being sincere and truthful and telling you this something that is going to happen is big. So your trustworthiness into this person, you believing in them, what makes them to believe that what is going to happen is big. قال عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون. Those who are different in it, and we said different in it in the way how to justify it, into the way how to give it, a way to say that is Naba al-Azim, but in reality, as we have mentioned. So قال عما يتساءلون, what they are asking about, or asking one another concerning what are they disputing, and in Naba al-Azim, the great news, الذي هم فيه مختلفون, over which they are disagreeing, and we mentioned that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال كلا سيعلمون. So this is the true answer to these people. So the first, the Quran was not seeking answers from them. So he said, عَمَّا يَتَسَأَلُونَ, what about about what thing they are asking, as we have mentioned. Is it about said what are they asking one another about, So here the Quran is not seeking an answer. It's seeking to reprimand. Because are you sure that you're asking about such a great thing with such negligence and non-caring? This is عَمَّا يَتَسَأَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَأِ الْعَظِيمِ. How do they dare asking about it in such casual way, in such nonchalance, in such neglectful way? عَمَّا يَتَسَأَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَأِ الْعَظِيمِ. This is something big. So itself what we call Naba al-Azim, something that is great, as he said, momentous news, great news, and so on. One of the aspects of Naba al-Azim is Al-Quran al-Azim. Al-Quran itself is Naba al-Azim. The other aspect is the divine view, and this is very important for us, especially in the time that we live in and the society that we live in, to understand the meaning of the view, of the world view. So the divine view is really what defines for you the reality of things. So what is the reality of life? What is the definition of life? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one who gives you such a definition. What is the definition of the universe? What is the relationship between the human being, the universe, between this life that we live in, and so on? So who is able to give you the true reality of every aspect of this component in life is the Quran. So that's why we say, عَمَّا يَتَسَأَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَأِ الْعَظِيمِ. النَّبَأُ الْعَظِيمِ, the Quran will provide for you, and provide for you all the aspects of the meaning of the divine, divine view or divine world view, which is very important for us as a believer to understand how to behave in the way of Allah and how to behave on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then we continue الذين هم فيه مختلفون. Then قال كلا سوف يعلمون. كلا سيعلمون. They will come to know. Again, they will come to know. So here subhanallah, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reprimanded them. So the answer to their deferring into the question, the answer is like, in a way, if you remember, we said, is either they ask in a way of mocking, in a way of avoiding, of denial, of rejecting, or in a way like a questioning what this person is talking about, and so on. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال كلا سيعلمون, that's the answer. You're going to know what the meaning of this naba, what the meaning of this naba. And the hadith that we have, I believe, I don't know if we have mentioned them, but when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال كلا سيعلمون, everyone subhanallah, he will have his abode in the grave. So the kafir, when you say كلا سيعلمون, he think that this is when you're going to have to open the book of the unseen, or to remove the curtain between us and the unseen. This is the biggest problem today, that the people, they neglect or they deny the existence of the unseen. As a believer, you live your life, you plan your life, you make decision on both worlds. The worlds of the seen that you see, the physical world, and the world of the unseen. When you go and seek in the rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you go work, you have both worlds. You work hard, you do your part of the task. You don't stay at home, you say, I rely on the word of the unseen, Allah's barakah to give me. No, you work, but you know that all your effort, that is reliance on Allah, tawakkul on Allah, the true rizq comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's this balance between you believing on the word of the unseen. You know that your rizq is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but what you are doing is like that, the requirement of getting the rizq from Allah, which is your action. You're putting your effort, but your effort is not what is bringing the rizq. This is, for example, this equation into the rizq. How, as a believer, we adhere to such a thing, because this is how, as a believer, we believe between the word of the seen and the word of the unseen. Another example, it comes, for example, to the court of justice. The Prophet ﷺ said, two of you, they might come and dispute, have a dispute into a certain matter. And one of you two might be more eloquent than his brother in presenting his case. And which is mean, I might be influenced by his way of presenting his case, so I will give the right to that person. But you should know, if I'll give him wrongly, because I didn't know, the Prophet said, I didn't know, because he presented his case and beautified it in a way, he said, yeah, he's right. But he said, the one who gets that right and knowing that he does not deserve it, then he should know what I give him a piece of hellfire. Which is mean that what he took today as a right from a judgment issued by the Prophet ﷺ, but he was like tricky and made ways to get it with no right, then he's gonna go to hellfire. So you see here we have the word of the seen, the word that we live, and you can do whatever you want here. But there's another word that is waiting for you, to give you the right retribution, to give you the right compensation of what you have done. So this is a very important element into the belief, and very important element to be mindful of. As a believer, we live our life in the morning. What give you the drive to wake up and to pray is your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and is seeking and aspiring His pleasure and aspiring the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But do you know how much reward? Did you see the reward? Did you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a hadith, he said, the angel, they said they are studying, Ya Rasulullah, they're reporting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he already know. And he said they wishing to be this, and he said, do they know, did they see me? He said, no, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, what if they see me? You see, what if they see me, the time when they come to see me? This is subhanallah. So كَلَّ سَيَعْلَمُونَ, nay, they will know the part of the unseen that they denying. Because people, when they rely on their senses, and they rely on their the thing that they can touch, see, analyze, experiment, and this will be, as we have said, the source of the truth that they are trying to find. So the source of the truth is limited to only to the physical world. Therefore, they will be denying the resurrection. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, you are going to know. When He's going to go to know, you're going to see everyone, subhanAllah, see his place in paradise or place in hellfire. The person that he's a disbeliever, as soon as he get to the grave is going to be a pit of fire, wal-'iyadhu billah. So who can today justify or bring you the evidence of such a thing? Except what you believe, and what you believe in what Allah said and His Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. When we say here, أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ كَلَّ سَيَعْلَمُونَ ثُمَّ كَلَّ سَيَعْلَمُونَ, this is very important for us to emphasize on that aspect of the unseen. Many people, subhanallah, especially in the society of today, they don't want to talk about the unseen with people who do not believers. They don't want to talk about the unseen. They say, for example, an atheist, they feel like if they talk about paradise and about hellfire, they feel like, they're going to be ridiculed. So some people, they feel like, shy or embarrassed to talk about the unseen in front of people who do not believe in the unseen. Right? Because we have that impression, which is being, people are working on it, for centuries, to instill in our heart that still a type of intimidation. We are intimidated people. You believe in the hereafter. It's like, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say it an istihya. People, they say it like shy, intimidated, not really as you think. So they want even to justify to have these people be pleased with them. No. The fact that the person does not believe in the unseen does not mean that the unseen does not exist. So you as a believer, you have to have that certainty. Like in the Quran, كَلَّ سَيَعْلَمُونَ, they will see. Look, the man that was hiding his iman from the family of Fir'aun. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ إِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ يَوْمَ التَّنَادِ يوم تولون ما مدبرين ما لكم من الله من عاصم. أو كما قال. So here, Fir'aun, he does not believe in the hereafter. But what this person who's advising them, this righteous person, man, who's advising them, he said, I fear for you the day of the call in the day of judgment. So when we say the day of judgment, you have to say it with a powerful heart. And your powerful heart really will shake the inner self of those people you're talking to. They can be like, atheists or agnostic, or people who does not believe in anything. But when you told them with that confidence, because that's what is in the book of Allah, and it is already inside themselves. But amazingly, the Quran comes to give us things very important. Before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كَلَّ سَيَعْلَمُونَ, right? They will see. They're going to know. They're going to know as soon as they die. They're going to see that part of the unseen they've been denying. They're going to see the companion of angel they were with them the whole time. They're going to see the way how the soul is going to be taken away, subhanAllah, from their body. They're going to see how the angel, they will be slapping them, wal-'iyadhu billah, their faces and their backs. they're going to see. And this is, as a believer, we have to believe in it, with certainty. These things are reality. These things are facts. It's not a belief. When I say a belief, many people, they have the connotation of belief is like, I adhere it strongly to my heart, and it's something is like it does not exist for other people. No, it exists despite the people they don't believe in it. So what Allah is describing in the Quran is things are facts. How many stories people, near or to their death, they will be seeing things. How many person before they die, they say, I'm seeing, people in the house. Who are these people? They are the angels. Because when, subhanAllah, someone he's like about to cross from this life to death, then subhanAllah, the veil of the unseen will be pulled. Then the person start to see, and that's a point of no return. Actually, at that point, the repentance will not be accepted. That's it. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called at the agony of death, when person turn and say, Ya Allah, help me, Ya Allah, forgive me, it's too late. وليست التوبة للذين يعملون السيئات حتى إذا حضر أحدهم الموت قال إني تبت الآن. The tawbah will not be granted for those who will be acting in evil doing, and then when death will come to them, they said, oh Allah, forgive us. Now the tawbah will not be accepted. The case of Fir'aun, when he was drowning, he said, آمنت بما آمنت به بنو إسرائيل. I believe in what the children of Israel they believing. I believe in the God that the children of Israel they submit to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Al-An is now, it's too late. It's too late, However, in the Quran, we have this adillah, this evidence that are very, subhanAllah, to help you contemplate. And this is very big part in the Quran, which is what we call ibadat al-tafakkur. Ibadat what? Ibadat al-tafakkur. The worship of thinking, of reflecting, of pondering. Now we said, كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ, in a very simple way. We don't need advanced scientific models or advanced scientific experiments to know what Allah is going to tell us. Here the evidence. Before it comes to talk about the unseen that these people are denying, this Naba Adim, the day of resurrection, this Quran that He's laying down and give us all the truth about the reality of this world and the hereafter, and subhanAllah about the whole existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا. How subhanAllah we combine it here. So He said here, قال, have we not made the earth a resting place? Now this is so powerful, because كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ, they're going to see what? They're going to see their abode in the grave and the hereafter, how it's going to be. This is going to become for them manifest, and they will not be able to deny it. But now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the gift of the intellect. Just think about it. Therefore we are here by thinking, by pondering, by reflecting, we're going to know that the day of judgment is something coming with no doubt. We're starting by the first step. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, have we not made the earth a resting place? Subhanallah. وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا, and made the mountain as stakes, as pegs, as stakes, strong pillar. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, and created you in pairs. وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا, and we made your sleep for rest, or means of rest, means of repose. وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا, and made the night as a cover. وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا, and made the day for livelihood. وَبَنَيْنَا فَوْقَكُمْ سَبْعًا شِدَادًا, and build above you 7 mighty heavens. وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَّاجًا, and placed in them a shining lamp. وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْمُعْصِرَاتِ مَاءً ثَجَّاجًا, and sent down from rain clouds pouring water. لِنُخْرِجَ بِهِ حَبًّا وَنَبَاتًا, producing by it grain and various plants. وَجَنَّاتٍ أَلْفَافًا, and dense or case or entwined growth. And subhanallah, the series of ayat are so powerful. First aspect in this ayat, which is really amazing. First aspect in this ayat, that it has three, let's say, three touches. The first concerning the synchronization of this whole universe around you. The second touch concerning us as a human being. And the third is concerning, the overall creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in a very simple way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not tell you, go dig into the earth, how many, depth to show you this, so it's going to be manifest and true. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have you to reflect without even making any effort. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first most obvious thing that He said, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we make this earth to be placed, subhanallah, mihadan. The mahad is like the cradle. So it's like taking you, subhanallah, is like a cradle, place of rest, place for you to live. And then you ask your question yourself, subhanallah, and you don't do any effort. Alam naj'al al-arda mihada, you are already on this planet Earth, and you look around it, everything looks quiet, everything looks, subhanallah, stable. What if we live on a place where there is quake, subhanallah? Can you live? قال وجعل الأرض قرارا, stable, it does not shake. Can someone, can we live on a place where shaking? And look, when it happened, the earthquake, what happened, subhanallah, to the building, what happened to the people, it destroyed everything. For here, there's two aspects. The aspect to look around you while you are, subhanallah, reading Al-Arda Mihada. And then imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking to the generation of the early generation at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and look today how much science has advanced to see the meaning of mihada, to see the meaning of this earth. When you look all around you in the outer space, at least at what they reach in the outer space, there is nothing like the earth, nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَجَعَلَ الْأَرْضَ لِلْأَنَامِ, He made this earth for the creature of the human being and the rest of the creature. For here there is one thing important in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is drawing you the attention to reflect on. There's the aspect that there is behind what you see, there's an irada, there is a will, there is a qudra, ability and power. Irada, will, qudra, ability, and there is a management behind it. There is a design behind it. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you this thing cannot happen on its own, that's a fact. Then these ayat are a miracle in the book of Allah. How can it be a miracle? Ask yourself, who can say such an ayat? Who can say such an ayat? Who can dare say such an ayat? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally He said, Alam naj'al al-arda mihada. Al-arda mihada. Have we not made the earth a resting place? Have we? There's, for example, someone today, he will come to say, I made this earth for you a resting place. What do you think people they do to this person? Fir'aun, he never claimed that he is God who created anything. Fir'aun, he said, I'm your Lord as the ruler, and he's pretending and claiming that he get this governance from the God that he believes in, and he believes in idols. But who dare to say such a thing? This is, even if you translate it to all the language of the world, it does not need the eloquency of the Arabic language to see how miraculous is the nature of this Quran. Nobody will say, I have made the earth for you. Only Allah, only the Creator. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as-Sadiq al-Amin, will never have uttered such a thing, right? How Muhammad ﷺ living in Quraysh, he's the one who made for us the earth. So this must be from the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then قال, this is al-arda mihadan, and this is what he said, the journey moving across the vast expanses of the universe with this immense array of images and scenes is presented in a compact, dense space of words and phrases, in a very compact. And then it does not require a lot of effort to understand it. Have we not made the earth a resting place and the mountain as stakes? Which is mean like it gives you the inspiration that this mountain exists is not just because they are high, but subhanAllah using it as a pillar to have the earth to be stable. And this is one of the conclusions that the scientists they have about the mountains. However, there is other conclusion as they roll on the earth. And he's saying here, the Mufassir, that this is something very visible of the eye. Even from early people, human, before getting to the science, they also something to reflect on it, However, this reality is much greater and broader than what the early people, primary people initially perceive with their basic senses. As human knowledge advances and their understanding of the universe and its phases increases, this reality grows in their mind. Now, the more science, the more, subhanAllah, you read this ayat, the more you see the adillah, the earth is prepared to host human beings, and humans are prepared to adapt and interact with their environment. So this is, subhanAllah, all of it has been planned and made in the most perfect and accurate way. Think about it, subhanAllah. And then when you read many of the ayat that help you to reflect, there is no coincidence in anything that Allah made. There is no something random in anything that Allah created. Look around you, if there is anything random. So all of it denote the existence of a divine being who had the will, who had the wisdom, who had the knowledge, who had the power. Subhanahu wa ta'ala is Allah. And who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's Ar-Rabb, the Lord, the one who cares, the one who provides, the one who creates. And this is, subhanAllah, help you by reading this surah to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when in the same time the surah is addressing to those who are disbelievers. Then comes the second touch. The second touch. 5 minutes and we start, inshallah. The second touch, when it goes deep into the selves. Now, after you looked around you, look, the Quran, it has such a common sense that it does not first burden you to try to understand. It's very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, أَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. The camel, they are, subhanAllah, a miracle in themselves. The way how they travel in the desert, the way how they cross thousands of kilometers, subhanAllah, on their own, the way how they have that endurance, in the travel in the middle of the desert and so on. And it has a lot of things. The more science advances to see how, subhanAllah, amazing the creation of the camel. Now, imagine someone who's traveling and holding a camel. قال أولم يروا إلى الإبل كيف خلقت. Just look at the one next to you, this animal, and then you apply it to yourself. Look at the animals around you in your backyard, or like, subhanAllah, when you're driving. How this animal, how they doing, how they live, who's providing for them? أولم يروا إلى الإبل كيف خلقت. طيب, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to draw your attention and direct your vision. قال وإلى السماء كيف رفعت. When you look like, subhanallah, and you look at the sama, one of the philosophers, he said, the most amazing thing in this life for me is, and he tried to understand it in a profound way. He said, and the sky above us. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَوَلَمْ يَنْظُرُوا إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَوْقَهُمْ كَيْفَ بَنَيْنَاهَا. How this has been constructed? Why nothing is falling on our heads? You know. قال وإلى السماء كيف رفعت. Then قال وإلى الجبال. So when you look up and when you go down, what is going to meet your vision here? Is the mountain. And then till you look down to the earth beneath you that you are stepping on. See, subhanAllah, the accuracy, and even al-bayan, the eloquency, and the way how the ayah is drawn, you know, ibil, heaven, sky, and mountain, and earth. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you, أرض مهادا, جبال أوتادا, and then He turned to you, وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, and we have created you in pairs. And this in pairs, subhanAllah, it has like very profound analysis. They've just taken like, you know, a very simple thing. How subhanAllah, from a drop of water, you're going to differentiate between male and female. قال ومن يعلم في الأرحام. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the full knowledge. So it's not random. It's not random. Now you see, for example, today, when they want to know, of course, you know, at a certain stage they know exactly it's male or female. But when you look at it, all the signs, they observe things are growing. They are not creating. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the stages of the creation of the fetus in the womb of the mother is Allah is doing it. All what they do today with a very advanced machine, they are, you know, observing. Even if they do it, you know, in a various way, but always, subhanAllah, the first creation and how it's developed is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creation. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. هُنَالِكَ التَّأَمُّلُ فِي الْقُدْرَةِ الْمُدَبِّرَةِ. This is what should someone reflect in the ability, the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that plans, the planning. التي تجعل من النطفة, to make out of the sperm either male, وتجعل من نطفة, and another one make it أنثى. قال خلق منه الزوجين الذكر والأنثى أليس ذلك بقادر على أن سبحان الله الموتى. So you look at how we have been created. This is an evidence for everyone. When people they talk about evolution, who will deny the evolution in its, you know, real term? I mean, we evolved from nutfa to become like adult who speak and who dispute. قال أولا يذكر الإنسان أن خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين. He been created from nutfa, from nothing. You cannot even see it. Then he turned to be like disputing where's Allah and who is Allah and I don't believe in Allah. I said, can you not be ashamed on yourself? Look back at your history, you know. Maybe your parents, they can give you the picture how you were into the womb of your mother. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا, and He made your sleep a means of rest and made the night as a covering and made the day for livelihood. So you see the synchronization of the whole universe. When people they go to sleep, it's like the whole, subhanAllah, universe around you, it's like becomes like that place for you to sleep. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it dark. So you see, and this is a question that has been, you know, asked before, or like, you know, we were like discussing. Does the human being was created to fit the environment around it, or the environment around us was created to fit the human being? Allah has generosity and Allah karam. He created the environment to accommodate us as a human being. To accommodate us. So He made the sun to rise and to rest, all of it serving the human being. Allah make it to be subservient to us, as mentioned in Surah Ibrahim. So it put them, and then the sleep, and I will stop here, and maybe you will have time to reflect on the sleep. It's something so amazing. It's a miracle in itself. When you are asleep, you are in a state of death. Subhanallah. Death. There is elements that help you to connect with the outside world, which is mainly the hearing. But how, subhanallah, the sleep is needed. I was very shocked to learn, years ago, that there is doctors of sleep. How to see how much important, especially in the world of today, when people they're always stressed and everything, and how much sleep, is needed to keep them the balance and keep them, protect and preserve their health and everything. So the sleep offers the soul a break from the fierce struggle of life. And subhanallah, one of the things that even someone has a problem, things, when they sleep, they're fully disconnected from anything. That's why the worst punishment that subhanallah strike a population is worrying and is subhanallah anguish. Why? Because it prevents them from sleeping. People today, they they take a handful of pills to sleep. When the sleep is a gift from Allah, قال وجعل نومكم قال وجعلنا نومكم سباتا. So when you reflect on it, so imagine a disbeliever, he's been realizing that this naum, that this sleep is a gift from Allah. It is within our structure, it is part of our nature, but it's a gift from Allah, and what is role and what is objective, and how the night comes to accommodate you for you to sleep, and how the day when you need to work and act, you have the sun and everything is ma'ashan, is a livelihood. We stop here bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and we'll continue bi'idhnillah to see all the mysteries of the Creator power subhanahu wa ta'ala in creating such a thing. And again, what is the wisdom to mention all of this? The wisdom, this is going to serve as evidence to the advent of the Day of Judgment. As evidence. Because we have here how the creation started, looking at ourselves. The one who started the creation, will he be incapable to redo it? قال أليس ذلك بقادر على أن يحيي الموتى? Will not be capable to recreate and to do the creation again, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is are the let's say the evidence. And نكتفي بهذا القدر وجزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم.